The Quick Diz Takes podcast is a Quick Diz Takes production and is part of the Quick Diz Takes family of podcasts.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner.
Oh boy! What's up, guys, and welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 64. I am your host, Tim LeBeau, alongside, as usual, Miss Sarah Castano,
Hey, howdy, hey.
Mr. John Castano,
Hello.
and Mr. Stephen Lanzi.
How are you?
So today, once again, staying away from the attractions that we've been so into over the past few months and switching things up a little bit, we're going to discuss a little today what we like as far as sit down and quick service restaurants at the Animal Kingdom. We will get back to our Elimination series and then finish up with putting Mr. Denzel Washington into a Disney park attraction or wherever we see fit on the Disney World property. So without further ado, let us begin with our favorite Disney sit down or quick service restaurants in the Animal Kingdom. And why don't we have Johnny start with his?
All right. So when it comes to sit down, as far as I've only ever eaten at Rainforest Cafe, which is kind of sad, I guess. But with going mostly going as when I was smaller, or we've only gone, we went on our honeymoon, so I don't even think we ate at the sit-down restaurant at our honeymoon, and then every other time's been with kids, so it was, as far as bringing children, Rainforest Cafe was always our go-to because of the animatronics, and the kids always liked the animal legs and feet bar stools. So we just went there. It's fine. It's basic. Your basic, what is the word? I'm like kind of chain restaurant, type of food. I've heard people complain about it. I don't really have any complaints about it. Everything I've ever gotten there is good. I like the atmosphere, the fish. I'm one for liking fish tanks. They have, their fish tanks are really nice. My only real complaint is is that creepy tree in the gift shop. That thing's, I don't know what that thing is. So, but yeah, that's really my only experience with sit-down restaurants at Animal Kingdom. So I think I need to branch out this next time we go. Maybe go to, I don't know, one of your choices if you have other choices. Well, I know the quick service, most people will probably say, I'll let somebody else say that. So I will go with Flame Tree Barbecue, I think is a really good quick service. The barbecue is good. The food there is really good. And the portions they have there are like, you could basically, I think you get your best bang for your buck there because you can split anything. Really, they give you so much food that you can share it. So you get a little bit of savings there. The atmosphere is nice where where like the tables are. It's more, I'm pretty sure it's outdoor seating, but then there's like a little raised area. It's like under I don't know what the word. It's not like a gazebo. It's what is the thing I'm looking for?
Like a canopy almost.
It's like a canopy, but the things people have in the backyards, the posts, and then the wood goes across.
Pergola?
Pergola. It's like a pergola, like a big pergola type of thing. It's right on like a little.
Wow,
there's a
big word alert.
Yeah, it's right along the. I'm gonna say like a little river or little waterways right around. So it's You get the little annoyance of those birds coming looking for food, but I mean, other than that, I think everything's really good there. Yeah, and for like theme park barbecue, I think it's pretty good.
All right. Any thoughts on those two restaurants? I've never been to either of them myself. Well, let's just go right to Sarah next because she was basically on each one of these journeys.
The same goes for me as far as the sit down restaurants. I've only ever actually eaten at Rainforest Cafe. Many years ago, they had brought one closer to us in Burlington, Massachusetts, and it was inside the mall. So that was kind of a really cool thing to have a little piece of Disney here at home. And then, of course, it shut down and closed. So this kind of like our thing, especially with the kids, the atmosphere, we like it. I do kind of wish we could branch out to Tiffins, but I don't think my kids are ready for stuff like with flavor. And their menu seems to have tons of flavor, which is exciting to try. And I'm sure it's amazing. I've heard wonderful reviews. It's gotten, awards and things like that. So I would be excited to try Tiffins, but I don't think my kids could handle that. As far as the quick service, I do agree with Johnny. That was kind of my honorable mention. I don't know if what I'm going to say is his favorite, but I was going to say the Satuli Canteen. They've got really creative, cool looking food. Their cheeseburger bao bun, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It looks like a little dumpling. It tastes just like a regular cheese. It's very cool to look at. It's creative. The food there is always very fresh. They have those build your own bowls where, you can pick your protein. I think we usually get like a wood grilled chicken, but they have pork, they have fish, they have all kinds of specialty menus. If you have a soy allergy, a fish allergy, a dairy allergy, they really kind of, for a quick service, they have a lot of options available for people with dietary restrictions. And it looks pretty too.
Arguably the best quick service meal on Disney property, in my opinion.
And now with everything going on with COVID, you can do your mobile orders for Satuli Canteen. Yes.
At places like when we go there, a lot of times we're going to eat there. We're not even going to do a sit down. It's perfectly fine for us. And it's one of the few places where Aria my daughter gets excited to actually go to. Because obviously a lot of times when you're with the kids, the idea of eating is even, they're like, meh. A lot of times they just want to keep going, But yeah, she likes to go to that place. And every time I bring it up, even when we're at home, she's all like, oh, I want the burger pods,
Yeah.
And
They taste like I mean, I haven't had one in a long time, but they taste like what I remember of a McDonald's cheeseburger. It's got that I don't know, but it's probably better. It's probably better for you than a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Probably.
But it reminds me of that. It's good. Yeah,
it's good.
It's basically it's basically like sit down quality food.
Yeah,
at a quick service restaurant easily. I mean, you're gonna get it. It's a really good meal.
And then Carrie gets a lot of times she always picks off my burger pot as well, but she likes to get the bowls, which are, I guess, they look really good. I haven't really had one, and the desserts are good, and then the beer. And there's some pretty good beers in there too. Can't think of the name of the green one right now. I always get that one though. It's pretty good.
And that whole, just the look of that restaurant is like the whole, I guess the backstory is it was that whoever I guess I guess they're from the United States, but the people from Earth who went and explored Pandora, they set up, this was their mess hall, but then it looks as though Pandora has kind of taken it back. So the theming is real good too.
There's something I did not know. Johnny coming through big with the little details there. Steven, actually, I'm agreeing with Satuli. So I'll just finish real quick because I'm already halfway there. I like the Yak and Yeti for the sit down, but much like you guys, I think the Yak and Yeti is kind of like my Rainforest. Where I think I know that's the only place I've ever sat down there, mainly because I go to the other one usually. But we had the meal plan one time, in particular, so we tried it, and it was really good. It was really good, and I would recommend it. It's probably one of the better sit downs I've been to at Disney. I'm trying to think what I got there. Oh yeah, I got a prime rib. I'm not sure it's always on the menu. I think it was a special maybe, but if you get a chance to go there, the food is good. I can't remember what my wife had, but I remember her liking hers as well. Theming is good, right in that area near Everest, just before Everest. And yeah, definitely good eats there. And I guess it wins by default, unfortunately for me, but I don't know. Animal Kingdom just is like one of those places. You know what it is? It hasn't been a park that stayed open that late till not that long ago. So maybe give it time to try more sit down restaurants down the road. But usually when I sit down, it's usually dinner. So there's that too. All right, Steve.
So my answer is going to be very, very fast because Animal Kingdom has really not been a full day park for me. I hit it before lunch. So I get there in the morning, do what I got to do, hit the rides, right? Go on Everest like a dozen times, whatever it is. And then I leave like right before lunch, and then I go to a different park. So I'm usually not there long enough to eat. So I have no answer for quick service because I don't think I've ever gotten it. And I'm not going to, I don't want to pretend like I have. Maybe I've done a Mickey bar. So that's my quick service. And Mickey bars are always good. So as far as sit down, I literally have one answer, and that's the Tusker House. And I did a character breakfast there. It was good. It had some different stuff to it. That's about it. I mean, I'll say it's definitely for a character breakfast. I'll say it's worth it because it has some different. It's going to have the usual fare, but it does have some extra. Like has like a meat station. That's like a beef thing that was really good. So that made it different than like Chef Mickey's, for example. So I'd recommend that, but that's really all I got.
They go there for dinner more than one time. And like Sarah said, Tiffins is supposed to be a good one. The Tusker House I heard is good, as Steve just said. But there's a quick service side to that too, right? Or no?
The Nomad Lounge is like the.
It's like right there, though, right?
Yeah, it's on the back side, I think.
I've had something there. I wish I could remember what it was. I had some kind of sandwich from there that was really good.
And the only other thing, like you with Yak and Yeti too, I know that if you are part of if you join the Landry's restaurant group thing, you got to pay. I mean, it's a fee you pay, but the perk to that is if you don't, as a member, you don't have to have an ADR to get in there. They always set aside so many tables for those Landry members. So that is one of those like kind of last minute, like, oh, let's go to Yak and Yeti, and you can still get a table without an ADR.
I thought Landry's was Rainforest Cafe and T-Rex. Are they on the same?
I think they're all the same.
And there's one more besides that too. I think there's 4, but there's like a really like a more upscale.
All right, let me see.
And I can't think. I know them too, and I can't think of it right now.
Not the Boathouse, but there's one more.
Here we go. What does it say? This just says Yak and Yeti, Rainforest, and T-Rex.
So maybe Yak and Yeti was the higher end.
As far as this was October of 2020. So what that's from. And it says it's a $25 fee, and then and then you receive a $25 gift card on your birthday anyway. So, but at least you can you can jump the line.
Yeah,
it's a nice little thing. I don't know
if
it's
$25. You can pay $25 to get a chance to spend a ton of money on dinner.
Yeah, right.
Faster.
But they give you the $25 back for your birthday.
Yeah, which may not be so convenient for us, unless we so happen to be down there on my birthday, which one time in my life actually was. But chance
2020, I was.
Well, there you go. And then
look what happened.
When my friend Scott's sister got married, I happened to be down there for that day. But what are the odds of that ever happening?
Yeah, my birthday's around Labor Day, and I'm not going to a Disney park on a holiday weekend ever.
Or you just plan your trip around your $25 gift certificate.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I can.
Like I said, if there was still a Rainforest Cafe up in Burlington, maybe.
Now what happens? See, so we go down there, and it's like a double family trip. We bring Sarah, we bring your father,
Who's
we bring
my daddy,
father,
and
and
what
we get
does he do?
$75 off the meal
Yeah, right.
because the three of them have the same.
It'll
birthday.
only be a $500 bill.
Yeah, so before 25
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
with the $75 off, and we won't wait. We'll get to spend
and-
that $425 as fast as possible.
And we'll have our annual pass discount too. So gee, we save all kinds of money.
Do they have one there though? Some places do, some places don't.
I don't know.
I don't know, but Rainforest used
They
the
took
tables
our-
in Wonderland.
They took our Tables in Wonderland card,
Well, there you go.
which RIP, please bring that back.
Which you get 20% off alcohol too with that. So
But it's only up
right?
to
yeah,
that's only up to 10 people, right?
it's up to 10 people and you get 20% off food and alcohol. Annual pass is only food.
So how many times do you have to use that? Do you figure for that becomes worth it?
Tables in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I think it was like
Did
twice.
Character meals, and we were done. We had a 14 person party, and
Okay, well, there you go.
So we used at max like 2 meals and it was already paid for basically.
and then
That's what I'm talking about.
saved just the rest of the trip.
I would imagine if you live down there, it must be really good.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. It is time. Time for the attraction elimination series again.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Please hold. We need to tell them results of the Twitter poll
Oh, yes.
further.
Good, Sarah. That's the Twitter poll. It wasn't even the Twitter. Well, I put it on Twitter. I didn't do that well on there, but on other social media platforms, particularly Facebook, so Seven Dwarfs just blew Mission Space out of the water. It wasn't even close. So a double whammy for Lanzi on that particular episode, unfortunately.
I was with you, my friend. On that one, I was with you.
He had to live the horrors and of the tiki room. But he took it like a champ. Actual sound of Lanzi after that vote. Kidding.
I don't want to say that vote. I don't want to say that vote stressed me out. But before that vote, I had hair on my head.
That's funny. Here we go.
Let me get this squint. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Slinky dog? Slinky.
Slinky dog dash.
I like how I point down like you can see while your phone is blocking. That was well thought out of me. Oh no.
Soren.
Soren.
Nice little matchup.
I got a feeling I know where this one's going. But then again, Lanzi thought he had a feeling where the tiki room was going last time, and things went awry. So we never know. All right, Sarah, start us off. Where are you at with this?
All right, Slinky versus Soren.
Slinky versus Soren.
You know I enjoy my non-IP rides. And I finally got to go on Slinky for the first time this summer.
You must choose. But choose wisely.
So it's tough. I feel the idea and the concept behind Soren are great. A few wonky things, and we've discussed this in previous podcasts. I think I'm going to go with Slinky just because, I'm going with Slinky because if I take Soren in its current state, I feel I would be like, it's a good ride, but it's like I saved this over something that's newer and cooler. And I don't think we have many roller coasters. We've kind of taken many of those out in favor of the new track list. So we do want to have some coasters in there too, but I feel like maybe if we had updated Soren, the things that we said could improve it, then maybe I would have chosen, but like in its current iteration, I do love me some Patrick Warburton, but I'm going to go with Slinky.
Wow. All right,
I mean, I'm not happy with it, but I am happy with it.
There's one. All right, that's a vote. I wasn't thinking that we were gonna get a vote for this, but okay, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, both rides. I think both rides are good. I think that Slinky is a nice step up from like a Barnstormer for like a kid's first. Well, I guess it would be the kid's second roller coaster. It's a nice, it's a nice smooth ride with, it's new, so it's nice and smooth. I mean, the car with the Slinky dog is just really cool itself, and then the animatronic at the end with Wheezy there is cool too. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Toy Story in general, so I like the whole concept of it. But then Soarin', I just the whole story behind Soarin' and how it was created with like an erector set, and it's an original concept, and you get the feeling of flying, and I think I'd go with Soarin' just for it's original. I think it's not connected to an IP. I wish they'd go back to Soarin' over California, but at least you have that option where you could go California or Soarin' over the world. But I just like the whole like story behind Soarin' of how it was created to where it is and what it ended up being.
So, yeah, I agree. And my mom the other day, I'm going to give her a little shout out on the show because she brought up a good point. Wouldn't it be awesome if Soarin' had season like holiday overlays, like holiday, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like maybe during Christmas you're flying over throughout Europe and all those places that have great Christmas fairs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Halloween, and you get the point. But that was a great idea. And I think with Soarin', you have and I guess I'll just make this my vote too. You have the opportunity to do so much with it, but I don't know how difficult it is to switch the film and stuff in now. I would imagine it would be easy, but I don't know. Because the reason why I say that is because you would think they would bounce around with the California ones. People always want that. Or do limited time runs and all that stuff more often. Or they haven't done it in Disney World yet, but maybe at some point. But yeah, you would think going forward, they could just, every couple of years, they could film something else and kind of, your experience could be done. It could be totally different, every time. So if they film, they got around the world. All right. So what if they do another variation of around the world or over the world, and then another one, and then 10 years from now you have like 8 or 9 different versions plus Mom's Holiday overlay as well. There could be a lot more going on for that ride. But
you could just randomize it too. Like you don't know what you're gonna ride.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So and then the only thing with that is I just wonder, the other part of it is how long Soarin's gonna last in general though, because I mean, it's perfect where it is and stuff, but is the more, you got Flight of Passage, for example, and it's just, it's kind of, you do know that Soarin's not the best style of that ride anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know if that matters to some people, but it could. I don't know. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know how much longer it will be around or if that will matter or not.
I mean, I think even if they just boosted their projection, crisp up the video, get new, the images aren't, I mean, aside from the wonky, Eiffel Tower, if you're not seated dead center, just even the quality of the images themselves. And now that Guardians of the Galaxy is going in, and I think it's going to be a huge, like looking at the projection screens and then the clarity that's coming in, I think it's going to cause even greater disparity between the quality of the two. And then it's going to become real apparent Disney's going to do something with it, either update it and sink the money in that way or retire it, which would make me super sad, and put something else in there.
So here's the thing with Soarin', right? Go to Flight of Passage for an example, or even a better example kind of is like the King Kong ride over in Universal. Give me a screen where there's just no way I can see any edges at all.
Mm-hmm.
Completely do away with it. And then also, like Sarah just mentioned, do not have any warped perspectives from anywhere on the ride. Like a bent Eiffel Tower is just unacceptable to me. Like there's no way you're gonna tell me they can't. That has to be a thing. And I mean, is it a huge deal? I guess not. I go to Disney enough for me, but it is there, and it's kind of like you sit in the wrong seat and you're like, that's lame. But I mean, if you sit in the right seat, the ride's perfect. Like middle, probably middle row in area B there. But yeah, it just makes you wonder if that's going to be one of those things where either it goes or like, Sarah said, you get other attractions in, and then eventually they're like, all right, let's just shut this down. We got the ride building. Let's make this state of the art, even more state of the art. Because I mean, another thing it seems to kind of go to the wayside is people don't talk about often is that Soarin' is getting close to 20 years old now, which it's a long time. It's been a while. It always still feels like an e-ticket attraction to me, because it is like we're gonna go we're going this weekend coming up, and like I want to bring, like my dad's never been there. That's the first thing I'm gonna show him. Like this is cool for someone that's never been to Disney, especially. It's definitely something that Disney, one of the better Disney attractions created. But as the technology goes further, it just kind of becomes more and more. I mean, just look at Flight of Passage.
I mean, it just makes me sad because if they shut it down for refurb and then they end up replacing it, they're going to put an IP piece in there.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
In the last 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, how many non-IP rides or attractions have gone in? And that's what made Disney great, is that, yeah, there were character rides. There was a Dumbo ride. But there were original concepts in there. Carousel of Progress, Small World, Tiki Room. There were new things, Jungle Cruise, things that did not have an IP connected to them. And they're the classics. They're still there for a reason. But they weren't the high tech, which is now low tech.
Yeah, you're right. And it's funny because I was joking to my wife yesterday about everyone's all excited about the Muppets in the Haunted Mansion. I don't know if Lancey saw the thing for that, but there's going to be a Halloween special on Disney Plus where the Muppets go in the Haunted Mansion. And I'm like, we're all excited about it, but like watch it like do so well they just stick the Muppets in the Haunted Mansion at the park, and then everyone's just completely annoyed. When you're driving by the ballroom scene and there's Statler and Waldorf, who, by the way, I recently added to the back of my decoration.
I think I see them up there.
Yeah, and they're it's just they probably won't do that, but to what Sarah's saying, they seem to want to always. And you're right. If they close that down, it's not coming back. And it's at least without an IP attached to it somehow. I agree with that. It'll be like Planes or something. But anyway, my vote is also for Slinky Dog. I know I didn't even elaborate. I'm talking about Soarin' the whole time, but I just want to go with Slinky Dog because A, we need more roller coasters, and B, I just think Soarin's on its way out in a way. Whether it be 5 to 10 years from now, I think it's on its way out. It is a great ride. I'm with you, Sarah. I do like Patrick Warburton as well, but I guess I'll just have to settle for him as Joe Swanson and not so much Soarin' the Tower guy. Lansy?
So I have yet to go on. So, I can't say if I like it or not, and I can't say that it's better than Soarin' or not. I love Soarin'. I know I tend to adhere to the classics when we, talk about which ride should go. I mean, I like the refurb of when they redid Soarin'. I mean, like you smell grass, right? I mean, they really did a great job at that 4D. But I do agree that it could be more. I mean, perfect example. Now, I know it would take, I don't know how easy it would be, like you say, to change the video, because you have to coordinate it with the smells, with whether you get splashed with water. I don't know how difficult it is, So, for example, Star Tours, every time was something different. This time was Jar Jar, this time was someone else, Tattoo, I don't know. Akbar was one of them, So I don't know how easy it would be for Soren. But you are correct that it is showing its age. And so in the sense of, we have in this park that we're kind of creating, condensing it down, we don't have any other real roller coasters. We got rid of quite a few of them. So, I mean, I'm kind of taking the lead from you guys on this one. You've been on Slinky Ride. So if you guys say that it is better than Soren right now, then I'll put a vote to Slinky. But I obviously absolutely love Soren. I have to go on it every time. It's one of my rides I love to go on. Wouldn't mind some updating, but I'll take the cue from you guys on this one.
No, all right. So I thought it was going to be a Soren vote, but okay. So win for the Slinky. But you know what, too? In the hypothetical world of our own little amusement park put together, it would be one park, right? And then how lame would the park be if it had Soren and Flight of Passage in one park? Because now, if you're like, now think about that. I'm in the mood for that kind of ride. Where are you going? Oops.
Right. And it brings up the same point you just make. When you compare Flight of Passage to a predecessor of Soren, and they're in the same park, is anyone even going to bother with that? That'd be like, oh, why didn't they just put something else there? It'd have the same issue.
Well, the thing is too, like, because of technology, here's one thing you can point out. Soren, I believe the original idea for Soren, or is maybe even still supposed to sort of be the same idea. Wasn't that supposed to be like a hang gliding experience? Okay. So first of all, they could probably make the ride vehicle better so that you like when Flight of Passage was designed, you don't have the whole lift off thing anymore, right? So I mean, you are where you're supposed to be, and it just starts. So that would be the first thing. Although, like Johnny said, the guy created it with a erector set or whatever he used, and that's cool. And that liftoff is kind of a neat feature of it, but it would just be better. Like, you could probably do a better ride vehicle. You could probably do more with the ride vehicles. You could move it a little bit more. It could move around, do some dipping, and nothing intense. All you got to do is just drop it a little bit and go with the video screen. You get so much more out of it. As you see with, like, I know Lanzy hasn't been on it, but Rise of Resistance barely drops. But if it coincides with what you're seeing on, it really plays tricks with your mind.
It makes me wonder that if Soren were proposed now, like say Flight of Passage didn't exist, and this came across the Imagineers table, like their to-do list, how much more it could be.
Yeah, now, yeah.
And I'm not talking about just the video quality. I'm talking about like the vehicles, the projections,
exactly.
The whole system.
Not trying to crap on Soren, love it, but just
I do. I love it.
You just wonder like what it could be,
right?
And because I don't know, I just think and in Slinky Dog's defense, and why I voted for it is a good ride. Slinky Dog's a solid. I mean, Lanzy talks about, because he hasn't been on it, he talks about how he likes thrill rides. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't like if I was going to send you to a thrill ride, I wouldn't recommend Slinky Dog Dash, per se, but it is pretty good for what it is.
No,
it does. It's not bad. It's better than like Johnny said, Barnstormer. I think it's even a step up from Seven Dwarfs. Like, I think it's just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit better than that even.
I mean, it has that section where it's like a pinball machine where you get like pulled back and,
Yeah, and that's cool.
It's a non-traditional, but a not scary roller coaster.
It's got mild launches, I guess you would call it. And it's got some camelbacks on the back, and it's pretty good. And so, yeah, I think I'm all right with keeping that. I think that's a decent addition to our fake park. What's up, guys? It's Tim. Just here to remind you to check out our new website, quickdiztakes.com. We cover everything Disney, from our newest videos to our newest podcast, blog posts by contributors, and much more. And while you're there, do not forget to subscribe for the latest notifications on when new blog posts are posted and new videos go up. Of course, check out our YouTube page, Quick Diz Takes, and our Facebook page, Quick Diz Takes, along with Twitter @QuickDizTakes. for me, and at Palm Tree Skook for Sarah. Instagram at QuickDizTakesTim and at QuickDizSkook. And of course, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe with friends. Thanks for listening, and now back to the show. So this is perfect. We don't even have to spin. We got Muppets 3D and Pixar shorts, and let's take about the 3 minutes it's going to take to compare these two, and then we can move on. Johnny.
Oh, Muppets. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
Pixar shorts.
You want to elaborate a little bit, or you just want to?
If I really want to watch the Pixar shorts, I can just go on Disney Plus and watch all of the Pixar shorts instead of the 3 that they choose for me to watch. I think the Pixar thing is literally just a theater filler or attempt at filling a theater. It's just there to put something there because they don't want to make something new. It's just whatever, a temporary fix. And at least, and I mean, unless it was like a crazy good show, for me, not much is going to beat the Muppets anyway. As old as it is, the Muppets need to be in there, and if that's how they're going to be in there for the time being, then that's just the Muppets. They're going to be in there. So
until they take hold of Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, sometimes I think even that show, like, I don't know, part of me, I like the pre-show when you stand there waiting to go in the theater, better than the show at some. I mean, I don't know. I like that little interaction.
Yeah.
And it's got more Rizzo in the pre-show anyway, and I like Rizzo.
The Muppets are good, right? And I love them, and I'm voting Muppets. I'm not going to waste time. So that gets my vote. And then, it would be awesome though if because they've been talking about upgrading that show. What if they made the Muppets 3D show the Muppet Show? Like, so when you went in there, it was you were in the audience for the Muppet Show, and they actually had live puppets on stage. Statler and Waldorf up there doing their thing, and it was just, you know what I mean? How awesome would that be?
It should. I mean, when they did the live Muppet thing over in Liberty Square, I mean, if you saw it, you'd stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd stop and watch. I mean, they need more Muppets.
But they need to find a place, like they need to find the right angle for it. Which, I mean, it's there. They just gotta find it. I don't know. But it would be awesome. Sorry, one more thing on this. It would be awesome, like my mother said with Soren, with the overlays, is you could do that with the Muppets too. Like during the holidays, you could have them put the Muppet, like a quick version of the Muppet Christmas Carol on, like live on stage there. Yeah. Like they could do some cool stuff with it if they actually they were actually using the Muppets instead of just doing a video. Now I know Disney, your $1 billion company, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to hire a couple stage performers. I know you hate doing that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that'd be good. Sarah?
I like the idea behind the Pixar shorts. I think before they were on Disney Plus, it was probably the only way, aside from putting in the DVD and watching it. Actually, were they even included on the DVDs?
I'm pretty sure they were in the bonus feature thing. Yeah,
they might have been.
But I can't
confirm.
Maybe you get them. I mean, I remember watching Piper and thinking how cute that was, and I was excited that, again, we've talked about like burning fast passes just so we could get those e-tickets. We had a fast pass for the Pixar shorts, and I was like, oh, we can get one for this. And then we got there, and I was like,
yeah, there was like a whole 10 people in the whole theater.
Yeah, there was like 25 people, fast pass people included. I'm like, why did they even include that anyway? But again, I don't, until they were on Disney Plus, that was probably the only way aside from seeing them in the theater. But yes, hands down, Muppets 3D. Even though it is an older show, I do kind of wish they would update it. But I do enjoy it. I think it's funny every time. I love Bunny. I think he's adorable. The kids like the bubbles coming down, and when the little 3D guy comes out and he's bouncing on, my kids always duck, even though they know it's just a cartoon. But Swedish Chef running the projector at the back, Statler and Waldorf, it's just, you got to do it, man.
They struggle. They continuously struggle, like I said, with finding the right angle for the Muppets. And they know that they should put it there.
Yeah.
Even with the shows, I watched a little bit of the Muppets now on Disney Plus. don't know if anybody else saw it. The Muppets version of The Office, that kind of was like The Office. That was good, but
Yeah, I like that. I wish they
I
did not
did too,
cancel
but
that.
I guess people couldn't
Yeah,
wrap their
I
heads
don't know.
around it. I guess, but that was good. But unfortunately, it just didn't. I guess it didn't do well or whatever. And then Muppets 3D's been there forever, so it's, I mean, like too long though.
I see. I think they have the problem with like the whole like Walt Disney problem of changing something that Walt Disney had a hand in, and this is the last thing that Jim Henson contributed to before he died. So it's like, yes, we should switch it, but then you're
Okay.
erasing that last thing Jim Henson touched. Same thing with like, I mean, when they touch like something over in Disneyland that Walt's actually, like the Lincoln thing, they were going to get rid of it, but because Walt had a hand in it, it was a part of the World's Fair. They fought for it and they kept it. They just, they moved it. But I think this is a problem with that because Jim Henson was a part of it.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it, but I don't know.
I mean, could they do like one of those, like update it and then have like an homage to it somewhere else, like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, or kind of put little Easter eggs here and there in other parts, or maybe put like a grave in the Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, I'm sure they will once they do change it, but it's just that getting over the hump to change it.
The Muppets need a live show. I don't like the idea of the movie. I mean, I like the attraction, but get that out of there now. It's time to move on, and let's get something that's, like I said, there should be a live Muppet show or something. That would be awesome.
Even the pre-show is fun. I mean, Johnny was saying the pre-show is fun, and I do enjoy Rizzo, but like all the little bits, how they move from one screen to another, and then Gonzo tap dancing with the flower pot on this. I mean,
they could even make it like
entertaining,
even like a turtle talk thing. You can make it, let the actors ad lib with the audience.
Yes.
You can have a set show, but give that time to ad lib and interact. I mean, they could do so much.
Imagine pulling like a crowd member, a guest out of the crowd. They could be the special guest, and you got to like make them do something. I don't know, some kind of little sketch. Nothing crazy to embarrass. People are uncomfortable, but something like things like that. I think would be good, and I think the Muppets like 100% need it because it's a profit. Oh, go ahead.
I say, look how big that theater is, and they don't fill it.
No,
even without COVID.
It's the movie over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like if I run The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger in a theater forever, eventually no one's gonna go see. I mean, it's gonna be me and a couple other people. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. But anyway, Steven, even though the vote is pretty much over, you might as well just make this official.
I choose the Muppets 3D.
Oh, Kermit has joined us today. Yeah, Muppets 3D is a no-brainer.
I love the Muppets, and they have so much stuff to work with. They've come out with 2 new movies. Even if you harken back to the old movies, and I get the whole Jim Henson had a hand in it, and it's tough to say goodbye to that. But you could even take clips from this old, and almost play it while people are waiting in line. So you could still have it part of the, like while they're waiting outside, even it just play the old, like some of the old clips that Jim Henson was part of. So it's still part of the experience. And then when you get in, like you say, it's it's more interactive. I would probably apply for the job of Kermit.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty much dream come true. I'm not a big fan of the new Kermit voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna change to that, rather than I don't know if it was Jim Henson himself. I don't know if it's his son who did the Kermit for the voice for the video. So it'd be tough to see that go away because I think that's my favorite version of it. But yeah, Muppet 3D all the way. They just, like you say, they just need to update it majorly and make it more fun and make it more interactive. And there's just so much they could do. And even one thing with the interactive, you have the guys up in the balcony. You could have them like okay, the people who are doing the voices kind of look down at the audience and go, okay, and kind of write some light ribbing of, of
Mhm.
different people. So, yeah, I think it'll. So Muppets 3D for the win, obviously, but it needs some TLC.
They put the Muppet Show on Disney Plus, and a ton of people are watching it. And I just think if they go that format, like I was saying with the Muppet Show, like some kind of a live stage show, I think that would be immensely popular.
Oh, it's just to add to that really quick. So Christmas time, talk about a live show, you could pull somebody up on stage and they'll read the lines as Ebenezer Scrooge. And Kermit will be Bob Cratchit. You'll have the rats, he wave, the whole thing. And you can kind of do it for the seasons as well, or at least do it different for Christmas.
Yep.
And you could bring them up at Christmas, because you talk to a lot of different people and you ask them, what's your favorite version of A Christmas Carol? And Muppet Christmas Carol is always top 2, not even 3, 2.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's so. One quick thing is, I was so confused when I saw like a real version of it, or like with all humans, and because Muppet Christmas Carol didn't use Scrooge's sister, Fran. So like I had no idea who this was, because obviously it wasn't used in the Muppets. But yeah, Christmas time, you could do the Christmas Muppet version of that, because everybody knows that version, loves that version. The songs you could use. Yeah, you could really, really turn that into where, you're going to start packing in a little bit more than what you are now. But it's and then 4th of July during the summer, yeah, let Sandy Eagle do something, a tribute to all countries, but mostly America. And you can do a different version of that. But yeah, you could definitely have a lot of fun with that, and I wish they would do that, because I love the Muppets.
I think it would be difficult. I think it would be difficult to get in during the holiday season.
And now imagine if they ended the show with Kermit on the log with the banjo, and you could even play Jim Henson's original recording. And there's, what I mean? I just think it would be packed.
It could even be like Muppets Christmas Carol sing along. I mean, there's so much you could do with it, and you can do the show like they do it at Trinity, and I think it's like, I don't know, like a half hour. Like you can get it down to a quick. You could do it in a half hour if you wanted to. You could skip some stuff and get it done in a half hour. And so, which they would have to do, but.
What if they did it like the candlelight processional that they do around Christmas?
They could do it like that too. I was thinking more of an everyday operations type of thing, but whatever. But I think it'd be, either way, I think it would be popular. And before we move on to Denzel in the parks, Johnny just talking about Pixar. Why is that theater just wasted? Like there was Honey, I Shrunk the Audience years ago. They had Captain EO in there at one time.
Captain EO.
Why not? What they need to do is reskin or completely redo Journey to Imagination and bring back the Dreamfinder and Figment. And then not only that, but have another show starring Figment and the Dreamfinder, like a live action show in that theater to continue off the idea of it. Because I don't understand why they refuse to embrace those characters. Well, they embrace Figment as far as merch goes and stuff, and because they kind of had no choice, and people like literally were boycotting the version of the ride they came up with that didn't include him. But I don't understand why they refuse to get that going again. People still love it. You go to the Festival of the Arts, he's everywhere.
I say there's so much merchandise. He's such a pull for things.
He's the best thing. I don't get it. I don't get that one because they're all about making money, of course, and and selling merch on rides. And I just think people are dying for a better. It's a cool pavilion. You could have that little double whammy, like I said. Doesn't make any sense, and they ought to. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about it, but
Even
that'd
if
be
it's
cool.
kind of like the Mickey shorts and they just do Figment shorts. If it's a 20-minute thing, you have a couple
do that.
quick little things. It's a quick AC break. It eats some people out of the park for a little bit, sends them on their way.
Anyway, all right. So Denzel, what do we got for ideas? Johnny, I know you said at the top before we started recording that you were all over this, so I will let you start it off.
Well, I know in the American Adventure they usually have like some sort of, well, the building they usually have, like right now they have like a thing for soul and like jazz music, and then they used to have a Native American one. So I think they could use Denzel's character from Glory and have him in there talking about, or you could have a whole, like, they could set the whole room up of the whole, like, the African American fighting in the Civil War, fighting in the Revolutionary War, like all that whole, you could do a whole display of that and maybe use you could use an animatronic of him explaining their significance in that they had in American history, were fighting for freedoms of these people, were, they were slaves, but they were still fighting for fighting for this country that enslaved them, and to fight for their freedoms and all that. And you could use his character as a stepping stone to get people to come in and learn more about things that are not taught in school. And they have to, they make, like, Glory. I think Glory is a great movie. They had to make this special movie for people to know about things in our own history of who actually fought for our freedoms and everything. And they just, what people think happened didn't happen, and all these side stories of our history as a country. But I think it's a good stepping stone to get people to learn more about that, and that would, I think, would be the best spot for it, because they always have those, I don't know how long those little those display things stay there, but at least shed some light on other things.
So this assignment threw into sharp reality that I've never actually sat through an entire Denzel Washington movie. So I did a IMDb. I did some chatting real quick with a friend before the show. And the best I could do, and I'm terribly sorry to all you Denzel fans out there, is his character from Training Day. And he kind of bops between a few different places. He's going to be at show up here and there at the ESPN place in Disney Springs. He'll have a spot at their Wild World of Sports arena where, they have the NBA played, and they kind of had all, the Disney bubble during COVID where they played. And then also at the All-Star Sports Resort, just kind of every once in a while, you'll be in line, like at the food court, and he'll just like shout out motivational saying to you, or just something like that. But I vaguely remember a few minutes of the Pelican Brief, and I just struggled. And I feel like this is kind of the best place, without really knowing his catalog too well, that I could kind of feasibly set him in.
Are you sure you mean Training Day and not a different movie? Because Training Day has nothing to do with sports.
Oh no, Coach Carter. No, wait.
Remember the Titans?
That's it. Remember the Titans. I'm so sorry. See?
Well, she did say.
I like that everybody just sat there too and was like, "You go, girl." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was too busy getting a cough drop.
I still can't believe you've never seen that movie. That movie is awesome.
Well, it's a good movie.
Sorry.
Steve?
Training Day. Training Day, he's a cop.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm embarrassed. I didn't think of Glory in the Civil War as a social studies teacher. So, I'm actually kind of embarrassed I didn't think of it. But I was thinking of so he did Fences, right? And he played, number one, he did the play, and then they made a movie of it. And I always thought it'd be interesting if now I'm just kind of expanding on it, if they did if Disney had like a Broadway type of a attraction, right? Like where you kind of get exposed to like little different things of a Broadway show, because they definitely, and the reason why that's in my head is because we were saying like that the Lion King show, it's very kind of Broadway-ish. The Nemo, although not great, kind of has that Lion King-esque Broadway feel to it. They just need to be a little sharper with it and whatnot. So you could kind of have that, like that. If you had like a Broadway pavilion or you switch the play every other few months or something, you could have fences to a time, and that's kind of where my head was at, where you would see parts of a Broadway play that would be highlighted. And I think you could maybe do that in Epcot, just because it kind of deals with learning a little bit and culture. So that's kind of where my head was at, was fences.
All right, so this actually felt perfect for me because we were talking about how we want to spruce up Soren, and my idea was actually going to spruce up Soren, and I'm going to make him Whip Whitaker from the movie Flight. And what's going to happen is we're going to have a rendition of Soren, but in this rendition, we're flying around, everything's hunky dory until Patrick Warburton comes on and is like, Soren, the tower, we have an issue, and then all of a sudden, the light flashes somewhere, and out comes kind of in the same style as a Bug's Life. Sorry, Bug's Life. Tough to Be a Bug. There's his animatronic, and he's the captain of this plane that we're on. Will no longer be a hand glider, and things are going to go wrong. So in the movie, he saves all these people with this crazy landing and things like that, and we're going to get that in Soren as well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll crash into the to the bottom of the Grand Canyon or something cool. I don't know. We'd have to figure that part out, but it'll be a whole thing of him going back and forth with Patrick Warburton, and maybe we'll avoid a couple of big landmarks or something. I don't know, the exact details, but I think that'd be probably a good thing. Like, let's swing out of the way of the curved Eiffel Tower, and let's almost hit the Taj Mahal, and then land somewhere, like I said, the bottom of the Grand Canyon or the ocean or something, and that'll will be how the ride concludes. But you'll get some good banter between those two, and maybe if they change the ride system a little bit, we can get some dipping and some little more speed elements into there. And we kind of like, I guess he'd be kind of like C-3PO in Star Tours, and that in that kind of in that regard. But I thought that'd be a perfect fit for him, and that's what I went with. So that's what I'm sticking with.
You mentioned the movie where he was the pilot. There's also that other movie where he was a conductor for a train.
What was the name of that one?
The Taking of Pelham 123.
Yeah, this guy's a Denzel fan over here.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
So you know what? They have the track from the old.
There you go. I like that. Yeah.
Backward lot. So you could do a runaway train type of a thing with him trying to slow it down.
It's another good idea. Just make him the conductor on the monorail.
Yeah.
I also had the how you do those little, they used that they're switching it to DuckTales now, but they had like that little secret, that adventure thing around World Showcase with what was it, Perry the Platypus. I was thinking that the movie The Bone Collector, he was the ex-cop in the wheelchair with Angelina Jolie. He could be like the host of the game, and I mean, it's not a murder, but he could help you solve the your little game around World Showcase through I guess it's through the phone now, but that was another one I had too.
Yeah, I mean, that could work too. I gotta be honest, I looked through, I mean, I've seen a bunch of these movies, and I'm looking at them right now, but I still had a hard time forming them into like where I could put them. So,
can I just say on a side note how brilliant Disney is that they have games hidden within their theme parks that if you don't know about them are completely unobtrusive to just a normal everyday visit. Like the game around World Showcase, the Perry the Platypus that he said is turned to DuckTales. There's the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. Like I knew about it. Like I've seen people with the cards, but it never.
And there's the Pirates one too.
Yeah, the
Pirates League.
The Pirates League. Yeah, it's just behind like where that crystal card is when you come. But like.
And stuff you didn't even know. You see people scanning stuff and something moves and you don't even know how they did it. Like it's.
But even so,
cool.
like if you don't know about it, it doesn't diminish your trip at all, but it
No.
also it's like a whole other layer that if it's like it literally is a secret spy game because until the boys actually played that sorcerer's game,
Mhm.
I mean I'd see people with car I knew of it, but I didn't realize how many spots and how right out in the open they were. And the parry the plot, like I forgot about that too. Like if you don't know what to look for, you'd have no idea.
Yeah, we were playing Sorcerers of the Kingdom, and you could see some people kind of watching us do it and being like, you could see in their face they were like, "What's this all about?" You know.
Yeah.
But Ari got a kick out of it, and we didn't do the whole thing, but we went a little ways. And at one point, we were getting ready to go on a ride, and I can't remember which one it was, but and she was kind of more like, let's keep going with the
Yep.
game. So it is fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, family, lighthearted type of thing, but you get the cards too. The cards you can collect them. So that's kind
And that
of
was another thing. This collectible ones. One's for the Monster Scary Halloween Party, the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. Cast members got special, so there is like that exclusivity, but anybody could play.
They got one in the. Did you mention this already? They have one in the Animal Kingdom too, right?
They have like the scavenger hunt one around in Africa, but I don't know if like a whole park game like.
I don't know.
I think they
Stores
do.
They do.
I
don't know.
I think they do. I'll look that up
Google.
real quick before we leave.
I think it's just in Africa because when we did it a couple of years ago, it was
Oh, you did? Okay.
just the Lion King,
the
like
Lion King statues, little statues you had to find all over.
But that was just in Africa. I mean, it would make sense. The Lion King's in Africa.
Okay. I thought there was, and I was told that it wasn't, and you guys were right. But you know what? They should have a game in Africa. I'm sorry. They should have a game in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because every other park does, and it would make.
What's the one in Hollywood Studios?
Actually, yeah. Never mind. So 2 of the 4 parks do. You know what it is? Those 2 parks were half-day parks for the longest time, and they need to like catch up. And Animal Kingdom is a good night show. And that's all I'm saying about that. All right. So we're going to get out of here. And I am off to the world next weekend. Possibly a vlog, maybe a vlog. Could see a vlog. I don't know. We will see. But yeah. So we'll see you guys next week. And have a good rest of your week.